4 minutes until showtime.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into a Monday edition of the Computer America Show. There's Charles Tendell and our guest waiting in the wings. What are you hawking down? Is that a pizza? Does it taste,
I don't get to eat during the day, so...
does it taste better with or without wisdom teeth?
I haven't figured it out yet. It's got more of a grindy feel to it now. So.
Okay. Well, Charles is now, he had 4 wisdom teeth pulled over the weekend, and evidently he's feeling no pain because he's mawing down a pizza with hot sauce. Oh, he's on drugs, good drugs. Okay, that'll help. Anyway, we got a great show planned, and of course, we have our 3 Logitech winners. We're going to be announcing them on tonight's show. Yeah, all that coming up, and more here on the Computer America Show. So sit back and relax.
3 minutes until showtime.
Yes, dear. Sit back and relax, and we'll be starting in about less than 3 minutes. Okay. So what kind of pizza is that? Pineapple?
It's the kind you eat.
Is the regular old-fashioned cheese and pepperoni pizza. What's it say in your T-shirt? Oh, yeah, that looks good. Okay, I see it. Cool story. You have to stand up because cool story, babe. Now go make me a sandwich. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, I should go in the chat. We should go in the chat room. Oh, you're already in there. Okay. Okay, I am.
Two minutes until showtime.
Is that a Domino's pizza? Or DiGiorno? Domino's. Okay. Thought I recognized it. Do I know my pizzas or what?
There's really something entertaining to be said about a man who can identify a pizza by a slice.
I know. Isn't that something?
I mean, that either means A, you have no life, or B, Cynthia never cooks.
No,
she cooks. A slice without a taste.
No, I just like pizza. I heard that. Oh, boy. Yeah. Ooh, I got the news.
1 minute until showtime.
And we got 60 seconds. Okay. Clock.
And your show will go live in 5.
Almost. 15 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host,
Craig Crossman.
That's Charles. He's had all four pulled out, and you can't understand him, but he's my co-host, sort of.
And I'm your co-host, Mum's the Word.
Certified ethical hacker, Charles Tendell. Hey, so how did you hold up?
Actually, it was pretty cool. They gave me the anesthesia, whatever they call it.
Anesthesia.
Yeah, they put it in an IV in my hand, right? And the lady was like, "Okay, count back," and it was just like in about 90 seconds, the room's gonna start spinning. You're gonna start seeing two of your wife, and you're gonna start listening to some stuff. And in about 90 seconds, I was like, "Whoa!" And then apparently I passed out. And then those alien abduction movies you always hear about?
It happened to you.
Yeah, I woke up, right? She told me to lay back in the chair. I remember that part. And then I remember waking up, going, "Ow," and then there were like these two alien heads hovering over me with these glowing eyes or lights on their face.
Those are the Greys, yes.
Yeah, and they had this thing going on. It was, and there was this funky music playing in the background. So I think I was abducted by aliens, and then I woke up, and instead of missing a kidney, I was missing teeth.
Was it this?
I think it was something like that.
Could be. Well, all right. Well, welcome into a Monday edition of the Computer America Show, and Charles is way too chipper for somebody who had 4 wisdom teeth extracted, but hey, it's good drugs.
This is why.
And it works, exactly. So now coming up a little later in the show in hour 2, we have our not 1, not 2, but 3 big winners for our Logitech contest. And we're going to be announcing those names a little later on in the show, okay? And that should be a lot of fun. We selected the 3 winners, and by the way, the contest closed, and over the weekend we drew the 3 winning names, and then we've started another one. That's it. We did it again. That's right. Another new Logitech contest is up. Just go to computeramerica.com, go to our contest page, and you will see all the contests we have here at Computer America. We'll tell you more details about it later on because we have a guest in this hour. We really want to get into the topic of what we're going to be talking about. In the second hour, we'll have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So we'll do that. If you want to, let me just get this out of the way. If you have a comment or a suggestion for us or for our guest in the first hour, you can call us at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. That'll get you on and get you through. We also have email set up when we're live and on the air. It is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive add-on chat room. Just go to our homepage at computeramerica.com. You'll see there's a big chat room /video button. Our chat room shares the page with our live streaming video. But just go into the chat room, just put a username in there. It'll ask you for a username. Click the sign-in button in your Java-enabled browser on a Windows machine, Mac, Linux. They all work. We'll move you into our chat room. And
actually, wait, Craig, so everybody else is noticing this. So I went in to have my wisdom teeth pulled, and I came back, and my glass had been removed from my head.
No!
I'm not sure what happened, and they surgically removed it. You can see right here on the side of my head where the scar is, where they had to chisel it off on my face. But actually, Jonathan and I, because Jonathan, he is one of the second or the first of the Computer America Glass Explorers to get an invite. And he's been enjoying his, and he's got. They've done a series of updates, but while I was on my micro vacation, the update that they pushed out, 16 whatever it was, basically crippled my glass. It didn't brick them, but I about ran off the road at one point, waiting for directions and getting lost in places because I was using them to navigate.
Yeah, I thought you had those things super glued to your head, so.
They were for a while there, I wouldn't take them off to save my life, but then, things just stopped working. Like they stopped getting updates, they stopped getting email, they stopped doing, all the cool things that made them cool. I made them pretty much useless, so I was like, I'm going to go back to my old glasses until we get to XE18 or the XE17.1 or whatever it is. So no, Jonathan and I have not completely abandoned them. They are still here, see?
Okay. All right.
They are still here. I still have my glass, see?
Okay, good. Yes, I see. Okay. All right. Well, they're all, I'm sure they'll be working and functional again.
At some point in the near future, I hope.
Exactly. All right. Well, we got a contest. We got a place. Oh, by the way, if you want to watch our show, you can. You see, we not only can listen to Computer America, but you can watch me, Charles, and our guest tonight. You can watch all of us when you click the chat room button. It also says live streaming video. That's right. You can also watch the show. And the live Computer America video streaming page is brought to you by Other World Computing. That's right. Quality products, expert support since 1988. Now celebrating its 25th anniversary. That's right.
I think I say it better.
What?
I mean, it's because I think you just need to get more of an experience with them. You need to order some upgrades for your iMac, and then you will totally understand.
Anything that you want, any upgrades or any Apple or Mac products, really, you need to go to macsales.com, macsales.com. Again, excellent support, terrific prices. Check them out. You're going to be happy.
Well, they're about to get a pretty large. They're about to get a decent sized order from me.
All right.
So I'm getting a new travel rig. To much to my wife's, how does Craig put it, chagrin. Where it's going to be a MacBook Pro. So hopefully I'm going to be able to combine my Macs all into one monster of a machine and never leave home without it, I guess.
All right. Well, let's get started. We've got a very interesting guest tonight, and our guest is from a company called TextPower. And sending a simple text message never did so much. Get this, TextPower has developed a method to secure website and VPN logins using the world's most commonly used phone app, SMS. That is 3 times more powerful than any other solution on the market. TextKey is the world's first omni-factor authentication system that provides an unprecedented 7 factors of authentication activated by the user simply by sending a standard text message from their cell phone.
Wow.
Yeah, now joining us is TextPower's CEO, Scott Goldman. Scott, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm just happy Charles's tooth ordeal is over.
Yeah, it sounds like he had a tough one. And
well, it's not completely over. I just have to stay medicated, and I'm dreading the day that I run out of the Percocet. But
they have refills for that.
Yeah, but I'm also one of those people who are very, very afraid of addiction. I know I shouldn't be, but I know a lot of people who got hooked on prescription meds, and I know Percocet is one of those that you can get hooked on pretty easily, and I've been popping them pretty regular, like every couple of hours or so.
The pain's going to subside, and then
right.
You have to get yourself off, and after.
Well, I tried earlier today, like right before the show. I actually my last dosing. Sounds bad. I just took my my Motrin, which is for the swelling and for everything else, and
exactly.
It was working for a little bit, and then that pain, how pain just kind of creeps back up as the medication wears off?
Yeah.
It got to a level where if I hadn't taken the Percocet at that point, I'd be like, oh, great, Craig, so... So I took it. Now I can talk.
Well, and the good news is this is what that stuff was actually invented for.
Yeah, pain relief. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about TextPower. We'll get started first. Tell us a little bit about the company and how long it's been around, and Scott, and why you decided to do what you do.
Yeah, the company's been in business actually for 5 years, but we just developed this product a couple of years ago. We take a different approach to text messaging than a lot of other companies do. There are some really good companies that provide what we call entertainment-grade messaging services, companies that do coupons, promos, VIP clubs, and things like that. And that's good business, and we like that business when it kind of comes to us. But the type of business that we provide mostly is for utilities, municipalities, universities, enterprises that need a mission-critical level of infrastructure. So we have total infrastructure redundancy on both sides of the Mississippi, one in Chicago, one in Seattle, total hot standby, and we provide service for emergency alerts for storm outages, storms coming, power outages, things of that nature when people need to know that the message absolutely does get through. So as we developed more of our capabilities, we realized that we had some capabilities that we weren't really putting to maximum use, and one of them was the ability to have customers send messages from their phones, which we discovered through our own examination, through our own knowledge, that it was much more secure for someone to actually send a message from their phone than to send a message to a phone. So we kind of looked at the way all of the current two-factor authentication works, and if you've got a Gmail or Facebook account, you know how that goes. You enter your user ID and password, a text message gets sent to you, you take that code that came to you in the text and you type it into an open field on the browser. Well, we kind of thought that that was backwards or upside down, so we turned it right side up, because sending a message to a phone is not secure. You don't know if it landed for sure on that phone. You don't know if it only went to that phone. But the opposite of that, sending a message from a phone into our system, is highly secure. So we took that theory and we built an authentication service around it that verifies a lot of different factors, and that's why we call it the omni-factor authentication process. So that's we've been working on patenting that over the last couple of years. We just did our first official public demo last week at a show called Finovate in San Jose to a lot of people who are decision makers in the financial industry, and now we're very pleased to be talking to you about it.
All right, well, good. And our job is to spread the word about things like this.
All right.
This is
Thanks.
brand new. It's cutting edge. Of course, obviously we hear all kinds of news stories about big companies like Target getting hacked.
Yeah.
And, I do a lot of shopping, and Charles does a lot of shopping online.
Mm-hmm.
Is that more dangerous, and if so, are there ways to protect oneself when they shop online?
Well, there are certainly ways to protect yourself when you're shopping online, and I think probably the most obvious one that people don't really pay much attention to is having a really secure password. The most commonly used password, as the joke goes, is password. And then you've got password with some variations, and the brute force attacks that you can run from a standard PC these days are so powerful that if there's any word that you're using that's in the dictionary, or if you have a combination of your dog's name and your birthday and so forth, you're basically just asking to be hacked. So you need to have a very secure password, and if it's convenient, you can change it, but you probably want to use one of the good password manager applications, whether it's 1Password or LastPass or one of those. That's a good idea, because they can input a random string of characters that no hacker would be able to guess in 100 years.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is pretty much out as a password.
Yeah, I would change that one if I were you. And all I need now is your Amazon ID and password. I'll have a bunch of stuff sent to me.
Well, I could keep them off base. I could put.
Scott, all you have to do is send me an email, and we'll make sure.
I got it.
Okay, so now you mentioned the two-factor authentication and all these things. What is two-factor authentication for our listeners?
Yeah, it is a phrase that has been developed over the last couple of years, and the first factor in any authentication system is always the password. The user ID is the user ID. That's what gets you in the door. The first factor that you use to authenticate who you are is your password. So the second factor, when you talk about a two-factor authentication system, what people mean when they talk about two-factor is something that you have and something that you know. So you've already got your password. That's something that you know, and the something that you have could be either a token, one of those wretched key fobs that people used to have to carry with a string of numbers that appears randomly and changes over and over, and you guys are probably familiar with that. Or you could have a cell phone where a code is sent to you, a one-time password is sent to you, and that would be something that you have as well. So you've got two different factors to authenticate who you are. Makes it much more secure than having just the user ID and password, which is really one factor of authentication. So that's the difference between what most small and medium businesses have, which is a login with an ID and a password. That's a regular one-factor authentication process. But having two factors, again, like I said, if you use Facebook or Gmail, you can implement or request two-factor authentication, and that incorporates an additional factor, something that you have in addition to the something that you know, which would be the password.
Yeah, my realtor had that little keychain fob, and he would have to add and the thing. So two-factor authentication, more secure. Obviously, you need to know more. And why is it a good thing to activate it if a website offers it?
Well, if you don't activate it, you're much more susceptible to being hacked. And the way that two-factor authentication works, because a message gets sent to your cell phone, even though we don't think that that process is as secure as the process that we offer, we would still encourage you, if your website offers two-factor authentication, to use it, because it'll eliminate a lot of the casual hackers. Somebody who's just trying to use a brute force attack, or guessing your password, or if they happen to see your profile on Facebook, or if they look for it on Google Plus and they know what your dog's name is, or they know what color your motorcycle is, or they know when your birthday is because all of your friends are wishing you happy birthday. The social engineering aspect of password hacking makes it relatively simple to intrude into somebody's account. Implementing that two-factor authentication, if your website, the website that you're shopping at or using for a login or a VPN or whatever the case may be, if they offer it, it makes it much more difficult for an intruder to break in, get your credentials, use them later on when you're not looking, and basically make a mess out of things.
Sure, I know, but evidently you're saying it can be hacked. In other words, even a two-factor authentication, it can fail, or it can.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, think about it this way: what they've been talking about with like RSA, when the RSA keys, and those are the little key fobs that he's talking about, when those RSA keys, the algorithm got cracked, it was no longer a matter of randomly generated numbers, and the two-factor authentication isn't such thing as randomly generated numbers. Excuse me, places like Google and Facebook and even GoDaddy all use these to actually do it, and they've got their generation algorithm hidden back there. But if I, as a hacker, could figure out how that algorithm works, then I could just figure out what they're using to generate these codes per individual, and it would be obsolete. Now, mind you, unless you're a very high-dollar target, it's not really going to be worth the effort to find these codes, so they can actually be hacked. So I'm really interested to hear how TextPower's got these multi-factors, or omni-factor. Like what makes it more sophisticated than just your normal challenge password? I mean, there's three factors to it: who you are, what you know, and what you have.
You need two bobs.
Right. Sure, and I think that's a great point, Charles. And having the the RSA example, I think, is really a prime example of some of the dangers of various types of authentication. For example, a lot of people are really into biometric authentication, which is very cool as long as your thumbprint or your iris scan or your handprint does not get hacked, because you can't change that.
Exactly.
So so that presents a different challenge to people who are considering using authentication. So let me tell you a couple of things that makes the way TextKey works more secure, more difficult to hack. I think we're probably all going to have to agree that nothing is unhackable, but we think that this is less hackable, or the least hackable. We kind of look at this as being a good security system for your home, or metaphorically like a good security system for your home. Any determined burglar is going to get into your house, even if you've got a great security system. Our job to protect websites, VPNs, apps, and so forth is to make it really difficult for somebody to break into that house, if you will, so that they go next door and try to break into another house.
Right.
So the way that TextKey works is kind of the secret sauce involved with TextKey is that the first thing that we do is we piggyback on the carrier security. Here's the way that works. Every phone, every wireless device that's manufactured in the world has what's called a unique device identifier, a UDID. And that UDID is actually burned into a chip that goes into the phone, inserted into the phone on the motherboard right at the factory. So when someone sends a text message from their phone, what the carrier actually looks at is to see whether or not that unique device identifier matches the mobile number that is supposedly assigned to it. So you go to the Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, or Sprint store, you buy a phone, they bring up that UDID and they enter your mobile number that's associated now with that UDID. When you send a text message, that UDID must match the mobile number in the carrier's records. If you try to spoof it, the carrier stops it right then and there. The message never even gets to us, so as a result, no authentication can occur. So that's really the first level of security, one of the Omni and the Omni factor authentication. It's one of those factors. We actually use the carrier's security to create the first obstacle for somebody to overcome. The next thing that happens, let's assume for a moment that it's a legit phone. Nobody's trying to spoof it. And I should point out here that spoofing, and Charles, you probably know this. Craig, I don't know what your level of knowledge is, but Charles, you know that numbers can be spoofed. And if you got a cell phone number, if you got a phone number, a number can be spoofed, and as a result, you think, hey, what security is this? Because I can spoof that number. That's true if you're sending what's called a peer-to-peer message. If I send a text message to Charles, I could spoof the number that it comes from. However, the way that carriers work in the U.S. is carriers use a short code system. And the short code system, which is kind of an abbreviated cell phone number, it's 5 or 6 digits, the short code system resists spoofing for a couple of reasons. There's a very technical reason that how the carriers block it from being spoofed. And the other part of this, really, you kind of need to understand where the carriers are coming from. If you could have 2 cell phones using the same mobile number on their system, they lose money. So losing money is not something that the carriers like to do. So they solved this problem a long time ago, making sure that there are not 2 cell phones using, rather 2 mobiles numbers using the same, 2 people using the same mobile number is what I meant to say. So that kind of eliminates the spoofing part where a hacker might try to spoof somebody's number and break into our system that way. But let's take another scenario. Let's take the scenario where you've got a disgruntled employee, and he knows the boss's ID and password, and he wants to send a text message into our system, into the text key system, when the code pops up on the page, and I'll get back to that in a minute. So the second factor that we check is to make sure that the code is actually coming from the mobile number that we expect it to be coming from. In order to understand really how that works, you got to understand how it is that we turn this around. If in a regular 2-factor authentication, a text message is sent to your phone and there's an open field on the browser, and Charles is a certified ethical hacker, if there's an open field on the browser, you got problems with man-in-the-middle attacks, man-in-the-browser attacks, key logging attacks. The way that our system works is it displays a one-time password right on the web page in clear text for everybody to see. We're not hiding it. And then the user whose phone is registered on our system, the user then must text that code from their phone into our system. We then make a secure handshake around the browser, behind or circumventing the browser, if you will, that completely eliminates man-in-the-middle, man-in-the-browser attacks, because once the browser is eliminated from that loop, from the authentication loop, there is no middle. And man-in-the-browser attacks we've eliminated because we're actually making that secure handshake behind the website, behind the browser, between the website host and the text key server. So we have eliminated a lot of those problems right off the bat, and so by virtue of doing that, we've kind of leapfrogged over some of the other two-factor authentication systems that already exist. So we've got the UDID that has to be verified. We've got the mobile number that also has to be verified. Then, of course, the one-time password that gets sent in. So where existing kind of traditional or conventional two-factor authentication methods actually only check one factor after the password is right, they only check to see if that one-time password that gets sent to the phone is then entered into the web page. Our system is already checking three. We're checking the unique device ID, kind of the fingerprint of the phone. Then we're checking the mobile number to make sure that the message, the text message that's sent with the one-time password is the right mobile number that's supposed to be sending it. And finally, we check that one-time password to make sure that the one-time password is that right password that must be sent as well. So we're actually offering three factors of authentication to the other one factor of authentication. Then we've got some other things that we can add on that are additional factors. Again, if we talk about some really sophisticated stuff, if we get into malware on Android devices as an example that might be able to send a text message, we've talked about that too. So we've now added a PIN. And the PIN can be either prepended or appended to the number. So when somebody sees that code up on the screen, they would send that code followed by their PIN or prepended by a PIN. So we've eliminated even a remote control text can't actually authenticate our multi-factor, omni-factor authentication system because the hacker wouldn't know the PIN. So we've got all of these various factors incorporated into the system. The best part of it all is that to the user, all they do is just send a text. To them, it's the same thing that they do 100 times a day. They just pick up their phone, send a text message, and that authenticates them. End of story for them. We kind of took all the complexity and put it under the hood.
But Scott, I'm listing all of this, and you're saying all the experiences they just send a text. Now, and you're using the unique phone ID, which is either the IMEI or the whatever the other one was for the mobile phone. But what happens when I change my phone?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, but what we find now is that people do change their phones, but they don't often change their phone number. I mean, I'll ask both of you guys. The answer to mine is 20-something. What's the answer to yours, Charles? When was the last time you changed your cell phone number?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, here's why. I'm a Google Voice user.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the same Google Voice user since it was Grand Central, so that lets you know it's been several years. And then I ported. I still have the original number, but then I got a personal line number because I'm a public figure, and what should I say that? Well, I do things in the public eye.
Public enough.
Yeah, people need to call me and do all the other high-speed stuff. So I have my uber secret personal number, and then I have my Google Voice number where you can find it very easily. So I changed that one and stopped giving out my personal number and got a second Google Voice to be able to help people screen. So yeah, about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I have his uber secret number.
Yeah, you do have both of them.
Yeah, Charles is about to type it in, so it appears on the screen there, Craig. But that number that you're talking about, Charles, that's a Google Voice number. When you send in your text message from your phone, unless you send it through the Google Voice system, if you use the SMS app that's on the phone, it's going to go out over your cell phone number and not over your Google Voice number.
We got to take a break. We're at the bottom of the hour. That's what the music means, and then we'll continue on. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. We're talking to TextPower CEO Scott Goldman. We'll be right back with him.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host Cheryl for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hello, this is your London Minute voice memo classic. There may well be over 1 billion Facebook users, but how many of those accounts have been created under duress and in confusion? The following is a true story. It happened one afternoon quite recently. Hi Grandad, it's about time I got you on Facebook. I'll set you up now. All done. I've got to go, Grandad. I'll tag you in some photos later. We'll keep in touch this way. Bye. Grandad looked puzzled. What's tagging, he thought. He looked at his new Facebook page and found goofy and embarrassing things his granddaughter was posting. He wanted to cover his eyes. To make it worse, privacy settings weren't considered, and Facebook notification emails began to pile up in his inbox. What happened that afternoon were the actions of a well-meaning, sweet granddaughter, but it was the worst introduction to Facebook that I could imagine. If you like the sound of the London Minute voice memo and want your company to sponsor my audio column, contact me at my website, loveyourcomputer.co.uk, or I'm on Twitter, @ComputerTweety. This is Patricia Reichel for Computer America.
Did anybody else get the feeling that she was that loving granddaughter that came in and set Grandpa up? I think that's what happened there. Because you notice the voices didn't change, and she ran away, and I think she was just trying to apologize. So Patricia, to help you out, we apologize to your granddad who you set up on Facebook and left out there flapping because Facebook is evil. Anyway, welcome back to the Computer America Show. We are talking to Scott Goldman of TextPower Inc. about their omni-factor authentication with text message. Craig is still hiding out behind his webcam firewall, but we'll get that fixed later. If you guys want to get involved in this conversation, you can either join us over at computeramerica.com in our live interactive add-on chat room. Click the page. You can see me and Scott. I'm the one wearing the T-shirt, and Scott's the one wearing the collar. That's how you can distinguish between us. And his shirt says TextPower on it. So mine doesn't. Mine has funny sayings on it. You can shoot us an email live at computeramerica.com, or you can give us a call, 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. That number again, 347-884-8881. You know, you can call, you can harass me, you can harass Craig. You shouldn't really call and harass our guest, because he and I have already come up with a plan to get all of your cell phone numbers and make sure it's very, very difficult for you to get into your Facebook. So... Now, Scott, right before we left, you were describing more along the lines of your process here, and we were figuring out, you know, what happens when you change your phone.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm going to answer that question. Before I do, though, I hope you don't mind if I give a shout out to one of your sponsors.
Go for it.
Otherworld Computing. I just installed a 128 gigabyte SSD external drive that plugged into my Thunderbolt on my iMac, 27-inch, and it just rocks. I mean, the thing.
I'm telling you.
It's a rocket ship.
Craig, like, it's funny because they came on the show after I had already been a customer for a while, right? And when Craig does the intro about the video, you know, he's like, go to Otherworld Computing, MacSales.com, and mine is always like, my video is sponsored by Otherworld Computing. Great stuff from great people. Just go on over there, and you will love your Mac once again.
Yeah.
And you know, honestly, because I've got a Mac Mini, and that's what I do. You know, some of the graphic stuff we do here in the studio for me. And I bought the baseline version because I couldn't justify spending, you know, $1,200-$1,300 on a Mac Mini. And then as soon as I got home, I went to MacSales.com and I got the SSD kit and 16 gigs worth of RAM, and it screams. And I love it because, like, shipping was a great price. It got here fast. You know, we actually had Larry from there, and he sends me like the guy that sends the newsletters once you sign up, the OWC Larry. Yeah, he's the one that was on the show. I keep telling Craig, you need to just come. You need to get some upgrades, man.
He's the owner of the company, you know. And here you go, unsolicited testimonial from one
totally unsolicited. If I could turn the camera around and show you the back of the Mac, I've got the SSD attached to it. It's a great thing. And, you know, I plugged it in and thought, well, this might be the last computer I'll ever need, because now everything is just instant, and it just doesn't get any faster than instant. So anyway, I wanted to answer your question, Charles, because you asked a really important one. What happens when somebody changes their phone if you go from an iPhone to an Android, or if you're just upgrading from an iPhone 4S to an iPhone 5 or something like that? And really, it's a pretty simple answer. When you go to the store and you buy that, whether it's the Apple store or you go to an independent store, to one of the carriers, what happens is they assign that phone number. They take it off of the UDID that it was assigned to originally, and they reassign it to that new UDID. So when you send a text message as you're walking out of the store after you get your upgrade, when you send that text message, in the database now of the carrier matching that fingerprint, the UDID, to the cell phone number that it's now assigned to has been changed to match that new UDID. So the carrier handles all of that for us. That's why I say that the secret sauce is kind of piggybacking, if you will, on the carrier security.
Okay, so I mean, what happens when, like, I port my number from one carrier to another? Does that still work?
It's the same process. Works exactly the same way. So the carrier, whatever carrier it is, they all work the same way. They all participate in the shortcode system, so it eliminates the spoofing. We make sure that the fingerprint matches. Then we match the mobile number. Then we match the one-time password. And then, as I said before, we can match the PIN and other factors as well.
Now, how long does it take how long does it take for that to transition over? Because here, I'll just show you. So if you're watching the video, this is how I roll. And I switch between all three of these. Like, I started, this is my traveling computer America phone. See?
Yep.
This is my Nexus 7, my Nexus 5, right?
Cool. Yep.
And now I'm back on my white, not my gold iPhone 5S.
That
I bounce between phones on a regular basis. Like earlier today, I was using my Nexus. You know, a couple of days ago, I was using my S5 because it's just I bounce between phones. Now, how would that affect? How would that affect? You know, this transition. How would it work then?
Sure. We can actually assign multiple phone numbers to an individual account. So if that code appeared up on the screen and said text 8743201 to 81888, one of our codes, you could actually send it from any one of your 3 phones as long as those phones are registered on our system in advance as being associated with the user ID and password that you're using to log into that web page. No problem, we've got you covered.
Okay, so I register my phone with your service, right?
Either you do or the web service does that is providing the two-factor authentication.
Okay,
Multi-factor authentication.
So what happens? What happens if I mean? So the service itself, I have to opt into. I have to go to the said website and have to set it all up. But what happens if, say, malicious ex-girlfriend figures out my password for the registration site and registers her phone?
Well, if she registers her phone, what she's going to do is she's going to try to register the phone, and we are then going to. Sorry, I'm distracted by that stuff you're spraying into your mouth.
I'm eating pizza, and every time I eat something, I have to rinse out the holes that are in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this little guy is. It's a water toothpick.
Well, what we would do in that case, now that I get that, what we would do in that case, we'd actually ask you to send your PIN. So, there are certain things, as I said before, nothing is completely unhackable. If she knows your user ID, knows your password, has your phone, knows your PIN, she's basically you. There's not a lot that we
You're
can
pretty
get
much married.
Yeah, pretty much. So, if that's the case, what I would say is, hey, change your password, dude. That's the first thing that you got to do.
Change password. Okay.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So that pretty much clears that up. But let me ask you this: you mentioned that your system uses an unprecedented 7 factors of authentication.
Yeah.
What are those 7 factors? And again, this is all transparent to the end user.
Totally transparent. Yeah, totally transparent to the user. So let's run them down. The first factor, just like a 2-factor authentication system, their first factor is the password. They count that as the first factor. So that's what we do too. The password is the first factor. The second factor is the unique device identifier, that fingerprint of the phone that can't be spoofed with another number. The third factor is the mobile number itself. We make sure that the message that comes in, the one-time password that comes in, is from the mobile number that we expect. The fourth factor is that one-time password. Even if somebody has a legit phone that sends a text message from the right mobile number, if it doesn't have the one-time password correct, or you fat finger it or something, of course, that's going to be it as well. So then on top of that, we also add the PIN that can be prepended or appended to that number. That's an additional factor that we can add. Something else that we are doing right now that we have, we're going to actually, I think we have applied for a patent for, is what we're calling a dynamically assigned destination. We have multiple shortcodes, so when a message pops up on a web page that says, send this, text this, 8743012, whatever that one-time password is, text this to, it could go to 81888, 85700, 48510, 81942. It could go to any of the shortcodes that we have in our pool of shortcodes. So even if a hacker has installed malware on a phone or on a web page, for them to know in advance which one of these destinations that the code has to be sent to is virtually impossible. So we've added yet another layer on top of that. So we're up to 6. So what's the 7th one? The 7th one is...
It's the pyramids, right?
It's the pyramids. It's the Sphinx. We were actually asked by, we're working with a security company that represents a large bank in the Mideast, and what they said was, hey, is there a way that you could do this where you can't even see the code on the web page when it's displayed? We thought about it for a while. We came up with a solution for that and said, yeah, in fact, we can create the 7th factor of authentication, and that would be a one-time link. So after we have the dynamically assigned destination and the pins and the passcode, and we have the the UDID and all of that other stuff. Now what we've implemented is a way where that key, the one-time password that gets displayed on the web page, can only be displayed by clicking a link, and once that link is clicked, it's a one-time use. If the link is clicked a second time, an alert goes, let's say it's a bank that's using that, an alert goes to the bank that says, aha, somebody tried to access this twice, you better put an alert up on the account and let the account holder know. You may want to block the account or at least give them an opportunity to send another code. So we've got all of these layers, and kind of like what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, even if you have a really good security system for your house, you're going to want to have door locks, you're going to want to have a deadbolt, you're going to want to have a security system, maybe a camera. So it's layer upon layer upon layer that makes it really, really difficult.
Well, Craig's got Bluetooth locks on his house, and
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so do I.
They're not Bluetooth, they're Z-Wave.
What? There's no difference.
Yeah.
To a guy like Charles, probably all cut from the same cloth there, right?
I have multiple levels of protection. So
Yes, your terriers don't count.
no, they're ferocious, No, they're a little deeper in barking, but they're very ferocious. They're very ferocious. Yeah,
They
exactly.
will love you to death.
So these are the multiple levels. These are the 7-factor authentication. Exactly. Okay. And again, all they do is send a standard text message, and that's all they do.
Yeah, that's all they do. And I think one thing that's really important to note here, I think it was Charles that mentioned earlier that somebody that's got one of those RSA key fobs with a rotating number and all that. Man, those things are very difficult to install. You have to get a box that sits next to your server. The times have to remain synced up and so forth. We've kind of taken the approach. Charles will appreciate this. Craig, I don't know whether you're an Apple user or not, but we've kind of tried to take the Apple approach here of saying, look, we're going to take all this complexity and put it under the hood. We're going to make it really simple for people to implement. So what we've done is we've created a process where people put a small block of code on the web login page and a small block of code on the server side, and everything else happens on our end of it. So we've made it simple to implement, simple to use, simple to install. We think it's a pretty good product.
Yeah. By the way, I'm a big Apple fan.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I mean, I like new technology. I've got multi-factor authentication on almost all of my sites. Everything that I log into, and it's one of those things where I really like to see people, leaning forward to making technology more user-friendly and easier. So it's definitely something I'd like to check out. I mean, I was extremely happy when Craig was like, I got an iPhone 5S, even though he only got it
gold iPhone.
Yeah.
See, he only got it because it was gold, but now he has a passcode on it, which is his fingerprint. And up until then, he was like, I don't need a passcode. It just gets in the way. And I'm like, seriously, Craig? That's not smart.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll issue a Computer America challenge to you right here on the spot, Charles.
Okay.
I'll do a live demo for you when we're off of this. We'll set up a live demo screen share. I'll show you how it works. I'll set you up with an account. We'll give you an opportunity to hack it. And if you can hack it, great. We'll want to know why, but we'll definitely let you have at it.
I'm gonna warn you. The last person that said that actually did. Craig did it when I first came on the show. He was like, we're secure, da, 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 and I quietly slipped him a note that showed him. He was like, okay, stop doing that, fix it. From that point forward, Craig will never click a link for me again, except he clicks news links all the time.
Never.
We've had one other person on here who came on and was having trouble with Facebook, and on the show I got them around that problem. So I will definitely take that challenge. It'll keep my brain.
All right, I'm gonna get that all set up when this
all right, I'm up for that one.
Link, and we'll set up a screen share. And hey, if you can hack it, we're going to want to know, because before this really gets spread out into the public, I know that you could hack a standard 2-factor authentication using either a man in the middle or some malware or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see how you do with this one.
All right.
All right, good.
Gauntlet has been thrown down.
All right,
Right.
there we go.
Challenge. I accept your challenge, sir.
Yes, thank you. Good deal.
All right. So, okay. So now all the major credit card companies like Visa, Mastercard, American Express are still using the same type of credit card that they've been using for years. And people in Europe have different cards. And what's the difference in which one's better?
Well, I think if you travel to Europe at all, you'll note that people there use a credit card that's got a chip built into it. American credit card users are still using a credit card that has a stripe, a magnetic stripe on the back of it, and that is just incredibly easy to steal information from. My Amex card has been. I used to travel all over the world, and my Amex card has been defrauded, as they say, a number of times. What I found out from American Express is that the most common place, it may not be this way anymore, this was a number of years ago, but the most common place where credit cards were defrauded was in restaurants. As the waiter or waitress walks away from the table with your credit card, they've got a little gizmo in it. You can buy them online. You slide the credit card through. It traps all of the information. You get home. You plug it into the computer. You've got the complete you've got access to all of the information that was on the mag stripe, and then you sell it online for for $5 for a credit card number, something like that. And that is really dangerous for obvious reasons. The type of credit card that's used overseas typically has a little chip in it, and some of the credit card companies now, I've noticed, when they issue a new card, that card actually has a little gold chip built right into it, and what happens is that chip has to be inserted, the card with the chip rather, has to be inserted into a special reader, and the reader is not common right now and certainly would be much more expensive to replicate than one of these mag stripe readers because that technology is old hat. So people who are using credit cards overseas, native Europeans, for example, who are using European-generated or issued credit cards, have a much more secure credit card environment than Americans do who are using this old technology with the magnetic stripe on the back. It's my understanding, and your listeners rather, may want to know this, it's my understanding that if you call your credit card company, you tell them you want an updated card, they'll issue one for you because at the end of the day, it's beneficial to them too.
Yeah, but when you have that card and it has the chip on it, and you're still in an environment where they're using a mag stripe reader, and then you really don't have the benefit of the little chip reader. Most places don't have those little chip readers.
Yeah, you're right. At least most places in the U.S., most places overseas do.
Yeah. So why are we so behind the times? Why is the U.S. so behind the curve?
Ease of use. That's the problem. When Target initially had started identifying the opportunity to do the same chip and pin implementation with their cards, they found that it was going to add an additional 30 to 35 to 40 seconds of fiddling with cards, fiddling with pin numbers, doing all this other stuff, and they were going to begin to lose sales. Which is really stupid because they want to keep you in the line longer so that you buy the last minute, oops stuff right there, and they were like, well, we're going to start to lose sales because people aren't going to want to use their cards, they're going to switch back to cash, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And they decided not to implement it. The reason most security mechanisms don't get implemented, and this is why I'm really interested in this one because it seems very simple, is it adds an extra layer of complexity to something that people don't want to deal with. Like you, Craig, you didn't want to put a 4-digit PIN on your phone because it added time to you having to unlock your phone.
Yeah.
That's why it has it. That's why it seems like the U.S. is behind the times because we're a country of people who require convenient instant gratification
without the hassle. Exactly. Well, and that's why Touch ID works really because I don't do anything different, yet it's there. So, yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
That makes me wonder, do you use the same password everywhere?
I go instead of no. Sometimes I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other ones I say 5, 4,
Okay, let's see. Bankofamerica.com. C Crossman.
You tell me your user ID, and I'll send you a postcard from Brazil. That's kind of the way it works.
Well, Scott and I will both do it. we're gonna be drinking Mai Tai. Someone will be like, "Thanks,
That's right.
Greg."
Yeah. A lot of peace in your future, Charles.
Was that from some prison in Brazil or?
No, I don't get caught.
Right.
Oh wow! All right, so let's see. What haven't we covered? I think we got most everything. We didn't talk about email. People get a lot of these special offers and requests for more information via email. What should people do about that?
Well, email is really the basis for what's known as a phishing attack, PH for fish, phishing attack. And targeted emails are really very tempting for people because it looks like, if you've ever gotten one, there is a whole raft of them that look like they came from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, American Express, that look for all the world as if they are really from those companies. They got the logo, they got the background color, they have the right type font. Some of them don't use really good English or grammar because they're coming from overseas, but some do. And they all will have a link in there somewhere in the email that says, oh, there's been an intrusion in your account, or oh, we need to update your information. Click here, and when you go to this page, you'll have to enter your ID, your password, your social security number, and you would be stunned at how many people actually continue to do that, even though phishing attacks are pretty well known.
Actually, we do one better. I know this sounds really horrible, but the one that we do is we send out the notification that you may have already been phished. And we've noticed some invalid information on your account, and there've been a recent phishing scam, and we give all the appropriate links to the right places on those pages. And what we do, just when we do our testing and everything, we spoof the destination page. So now you're going to XYZ,
Right.
insert company website here, and everything looks normal, everything's fine. They get the same kind of credentials, same kind of login information, and all they have to do is verify.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you'll be surprised. Like you said, the number of people that still click that link is unreal.
Yeah.
By the way,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a question, and I don't know. It's really not directed specifically to our guest. It's from Deborah Gordon, who asked a question. She wants to know what is an ethical hacker. So maybe we'll save that for the next hour. And
Okay.
you can explain that.
Did you just get that email in?
Yeah, it just came in now. She just asked a question. One of our listeners, I just wanted to know what's that mean? What is it? No.
Deborah, it's kind of a contradiction in terms, ethical hacker.
A lot of people say that, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right, now you got my curiosity up. What is an ethical hacker?
Well, as a certified ethical hacker, I've gone through the training and the certification by the Electronic Commerce Council, or the EC Council for short, that I have all the skills and the mindset and the ideas and the design and the capability of acting as a malicious hacker. But I have taken an oath to actually use my powers for good and not evil, so I would technically be a Jedi, not a Sith Lord. But it still is a contradiction, because most of the time it's you can't be all good and still be able to catch the bad guys. So I do dip into the dark side every once in a great while, but fear is the path to the dark side.
Hey Scott, we're out of time, and I want people to know where to go. So if you have any more questions, just go to our show notes page at computeramerica.com. You'll see today's date, May the 12th. You'll see Scott Goldman is there, and also a link right to TextPower. It'll take you to his website, which is TextPower.com, and you can see all the different things there right on his webpage. Scott, this was a lot of fun, and I hope you had a good time here on the show.
Thank you, I did. I really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for having me.
And our pleasure, sir. And again, TextPower.com, you can check it out here at ComputerAmerica.com, or just go to their website and find out more about what Scott has to offer as well. Scott, thanks so much for being with us here tonight on Computer America.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, guys.
Take care, Scott. All right, bye-bye. All right, and that about wraps up the first hour of the show. Oh, coming up a little later on in the program, we're gonna have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware, and also what else we have? Oh, we have our three big winners from Logitech that's coming out, right, Charles? Three big.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's something else that's been going on while we've been doing all this. Fort has raised yet another challenge, so I have two challenges tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I have two challenges tonight. One to track down Fort, and then two to hack Scott's stuff. So it's gonna be a fun week for me.
Yeah, and I'm sure Scott will be in touch with you.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, all right. This is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. We got news coming up in hour 2. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, thanks a lot.
It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, certified ethical hacker Charles Tendo.
And if you're just joining us, we just had TextPower on the program, and if you missed any of it, of course, you can listen to it again. We have archives at blogtalkradio.com. You can listen to the archives. You can also watch the live video streaming archives. And again, our live Computer America video streaming page brought to you by Otherworld Computing. Visit them, please, at macsales.com for all or any of your Apple Macintosh needs. And so that was cool that he's also he uses Otherworld Computing.
Yeah.
Unsolicited testimonial. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, when you find good things, you really kind of want to stick with them.
That's right. That's very, very true. All right. So, again, Charles Tendell recovering from, on our live video streaming, we were watching Charles pull out a huge syringe and put it into his mouth. I was like, what is that all about? This is the oral version of heroin or something.
Well, it is an aqua pick or water pick thing.
Yeah.
And like when we started the show, I was sitting here eating pizza, and the dentist said that I have to, every time I eat, I have to make sure that the holes, I clean them out, or the stuff gets stuck in there, and I could get what's called a dry socket, and it could hurt like the dickens. And I'm like, I really don't want that. So I'm trying to take care of it, and this actually does serve as a really good toothpick. I'm just saying.
It does. It's like a water pick, right?
Yeah, it is a water pick.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now as I said earlier, we've got not one, not two, but 3 big winners on our Logitech contest, and we're going to be calling them out throughout this hour. So, and also, if you go to our contest page at ComputerAmerica.com right now, you'll see that the contest has started again. It's a brand new contest right at our homepage. Just go to under the first pull down menu. You'll see contests. You'll see our show reminder winner. You'll see the Logitech prizes. Click on that and you'll see that the contest now begins today, May the 12th, 2014. Will end Friday, June the 20th. Okay, so about 6 weeks at 12 a.m. Eastern Time when we sign off, and then over the weekend we'll draw 3 new winning names, and then on the 23rd of June we'll announce the new winners. But tonight, we're going to announce our 3 big winners at Computer of the Logitech contest.
Cool.
So, okay, so anything else you want to get started? We'll get started for the news. Okay.
I think we should.
All right, let's do it. And tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free.
Free!
That's right. Everything at the slimwareutilities.com website absolutely free. These are not freemium. It's not, you get it for, 3 weeks and then you have to pay for it. No, none of that. They're completely free, always will be free, full functioning. You're going to love them. Download all the Slimware utilities to really get your computer cleaned up, speeded up, and optimized. It'll be like it was better out than it was new out of the box, really, because it's just a terrific optimization products. We use them all here at the Crossman household. We love Slimware Utilities. They do a terrific job. You'll love them too. Download them all, and you'll thank us for it. Okay. All right. So let's get started with the first, which is from Checksmarks, a Chrome eavesdropping bug.
I have to remember to put the ones that I want to do below that level.
All right. You want to do that one? I can change it.
Okay, fine.
All right, I'll change it. Okay. Did you know that AT&T customers connect their GM 4G cars to shared data plans for $10 a month? Wow, this sounds like an ad. But it's true. If you were thinking about buying one of General Motors' newfangled 4G cars, what's a 4G car? It's a car with 4G in it, I guess. This summer,
it's a very fast car.
Yeah, it used to be what's under the hood, Well, I don't care about that. I just need to know it's a 4G car. Okay. But we're wondering how much that LTE connectivity will cost you with that car. Then GM and AT&T today provided an answer. The bottom line, you can get a link to the internet for as little as $5 to $10 a month. But if you plan to consume any reasonable amount of data on that 4G connection, you'll have to pony up a lot more. Today, GM announced 3 tiers of data pricing for 30 Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac, and GMC cars, debuting this year with LTE radios, starting with the 2015 Chevy Malibu next month. The best option is for current AT&T customers or drivers willing to become AT&T customers for the sake of their vehicles on its mobile share plans. I'm on a mobile share plan, by the way. Did you know that?
Do you like mobile? Yeah, because you've got everybody on your plan.
Yeah, I mean, we got the, me. Yeah, it works out really well. AT&T is treating GM automobiles much like a tablet. Okay, you pay $10 a month for baseline connectivity and then attach the device to a shared data plan. Now the columns goes on to say, I say that's the most reasonable because AT&T rewards customers that buy data in bulk. You can buy 10 gigs to 20 gigs per month for between $100 to $150, which you can then divide among all you and your family's smartphones, tablets, modems, and now cars. So if you're already relying on AT&T to supply your mobile data needs, adding your new Corvette to your plan isn't really going to add much cost, and you can get a lot of data to boot. Makes a lot of sense. Now, if you're not an AT&T subscriber, you'll need to buy a card's data plan a la carte, and those prices can vary quite a bit. So, and then you have to kind of determine how much data you're going to need to keep your car on, on the pulse of the internet. And GM's revamped connected infotainment platform didn't have many apps to speak of, so it's not like you're going to use your vehicle the same way you would your iPhone or Android smartphone. But among GM's App Store options are several audio streaming apps like Pandora, NPR, and Slacker Radio. If you plan to use those apps on your daily commute the same way you'd listen to FM radio, then you'll need more than a 200 megabyte bucket. Okay. But the real data hog will be embedded 4G hotspot that will come standard in every GM LTE car. The car will redistribute AT&T's LTE connection through Wi-Fi in the vehicle, allowing tablets, smartphones, and connected game consoles and a variety of other devices to do some real damage to your data plan. If your aim is to keep your kids quiet by streaming cartoons to the tablet from Netflix, then expect to shell out for a monster-sized data package. So there you go. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you like sharing your data, right?
Yeah. Well, you see, it's me, my 2 sons, and my wife. So it really makes so that's and I pay a flat rate of 140 sub 5, and that gives me 10 gigabytes of data, and I don't use anywhere near that on my gold iPhone 5S. So
because your gold iPhone 5S is special.
That's right. I don't really.
It doesn't use up any data.
Very little data.
Oh.
Yeah, it works out nice, and it's unlimited text, unlimited mobile, unlimited calling. So why not? That's a good plan. You should check that out too for your family.
No, we're on T-Mobile.
Right.
And actually, I think we pay about the same amount, and we've got 5 or 6 lines on my account, and everybody's unlimited.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Fort is messing with me.
What?
Fort is messing with me. I'm gonna out Fort.
You're gonna out Fort? No,
I'm
don't.
gonna out Fort.
No.
I'm not gonna out Fort. Okay, Scott and Fort's challenge and everything have got my hacker juices going again. So I'm trying. I'm literally. I was given permission to cyber stalk Fort. So I'm cyber stalking Fort once again, and I think I'm gonna pull this one off.
Okay.
But we'll do it after I finish the news.
Okay.
Let's see. The one that I had open that I wanted to read because this was interesting. Oh, excuse me. This one from Checkmarks. Chrome eavesdropping bug exposed. Researcher endorses SCA. Google Chrome has a long way since its initial release back in 2008. Almost 60% of users today prefer the Google-made browser, but even this fast and responsive browser has its vulnerabilities. Hackers can now eavesdrop on unsuspecting users and convert their voice to text without prior consent. Oh, ow.
What?
This is the most talking that I've done all day, and it's starting to bother me. Anyway, Israeli software programmer and security researcher exhibited this glaring security problem with the help of a unique voice recording game, which displays the problems caused by the loopholes left open by Google developers. This researcher's revelation involves an old speech API released with version 11 of the Chromium OS. While not as advanced and accurate as the recent APIs released by Google, the aforementioned API's security glitches make it an ideal hacking tool. There are 2 major issues that made the exploit possible. The hacker can easily manipulate Chrome to achieve the desired results. Google has failed to limit the hacker-friendly parameters such as color, size, and opacity. This makes it very hard to detect manipulations. Hackers can also enable the speech element by clicking anywhere on the screen. The unsuspecting victim has no idea that the feature has been enabled, and the indication box can be obfuscated or rendered out of the screen.
Wow.
The security expert spoke to Checkmarks about his latest finding. He said to Checkmarks about the serious security issue which he claims to have spotted by playing with the vulnerable feature for just a few moments. He exposed his deep disappointment in Google's lack of interest in the issue, and as he believes that the flaw can cause serious damage if embraced by the hacker fraternity. According to the Israeli researcher, even disabling the microphone under Chrome settings won't mitigate this flaw. The hackers can capture conversations on all leading desktop operating systems.
Wow.
Source code analysis (SCA) can help mitigate these. Oh, this is now their advertisement portion of the blog. As mentioned above, Google has not released any type of security patch to fix the problem. The internet giant claims that the voice-to-text functionality recorded text files is not a high-risk issue, and also mentioned that the vulnerability feature turns itself off if no sound is detected for 8 seconds after the last mouse click. More than half the world's web traffic goes through the Chrome highway, making this security glitch a serious risk for millions of users. Watch your clicks and browse safely.
That's a good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we worried about our cameras being on, but also your mics can be on.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Craig, you should probably put a shirt on.
Oh God. So this is the most talking you've done in the weekend. How is it affecting you?
Well, it is starting to bother me, but I think I'm okay.
Yeah, you need to pop another Percocet?
No, if I pop another Percocet, the show will end.
Maybe you can take a half of one. Oh, how about a scotch? Maybe that'll know you.
No, I told my wife, like, my wife came in and I was like, okay, so I've got my bourbon. She's like, you should really not be drinking that and taking Percocet at the same time.
He's right. You should not. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not, and she's right. Don't tell her I said that though.
She's right.
Yeah.
Hey, we've heard about Amazon with their drones, everything. Well, evidently this is kind of cool from Time. Parrot's new Bebop drone. Bebop drone can do amazing things. Yeah. Okay. From its image stabilized camera to Oculus Rift integration. Get that. This is one powerful personal drone. This is a personal drone. In the emerging world of consumer drones, the most important company in the world happens to be a French one, Parrot, which was formerly best known for making Bluetooth audio products. Back in 2010, it announced the AR drone, a $300 quadricopter with onboard cameras controllable from your iPhone, iPad, or Android device. This is cool. Mm-hmm. Now, watching it whir off into the sky or hover in place was a revelation. This is again from the author, Harry McCracken, who wrote this. He says, I still remember the moments when a friend of mine demoed his AR drone by sending it soaring around his living room during a dinner party. It made me interested in drones in a way reading about them never could. I mean, when you see one of these things in action, it's an impressive little thing. Now, Parrot released version 2.0 of the AR drone in 2012, and now it's announcing an all-new model, the Parrot Bebop drone. Rather than replacing the AR drone, the Bebop takes the same concept, pulls out all the technical stops, and emphasizes the idea of using a drone for aerial photography. At the launch event in San Francisco, Parrot's CEO called the Bebop a flying camera. The Bebop has a camera with a 180-degree fisheye lens, up from 93 degrees in the AR drone, capable of capturing 14 megapixels still pictures and high-definition video. It uses 3-axis stabilization to keep the imagery from getting wobbly as it cruises. It also packs 4 antenna Wi-Fi based on the latest technology, 802.11 AC MIMO, so it can stay in contact with the ground, and, unlike previous models, transmit live streaming video of what it sees to your phone or tablet. Very cool. Including its removable hull, the whole package measures around 15 inches across and weighs around 14 ounces. It's less than a pound. Unlike the AR drone, it's specifically designed for indoor flight as well as outdoor use and includes new safety features. If you brush up against one active propeller, they all shut down. That's cool. 2 of the Bebop's most intriguing features are optional. Parrot is going to sell an Android-powered gizmo called the Sky Troller, which can be
the Sky Troll?
Yeah, the Sky Troller, which is a little handheld with a TV in it, which can be used with or without an iPad. You put your iPad in it. It provides yoke-style controls for maneuvering the Bebop, plus its own industrial-strength built-in Wi-Fi for extra robust communications with the drone. And if you happen to own a Bebop, the Sky Troller, and an Oculus Rift virtual reality headset, not yet a commercial product, but available in a developer edition, you'll be able to plug the Rift into the Sky Controller. Wow. Then you could don the headset and get a drone's eye view of the world, streamed in real time. More prosaically, you'll also be able to connect a Bebop to a computer via USB cable, download and share whatever it captured while it was airborne. And he has some examples of some shots that he took at the Parrot San Francisco event, where multiple prototype Bebops bopped around the courtyard of the former U.S. Mint building. The company is still finishing up work on this drone, which it plans to ship in the 4th quarter of this year for a price it isn't yet disclosing. This is very cool. I mean, look at this.
I like drones. I mean, I've got an AR drone myself.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was just looking at the picture here. There it is. Where is it? What'd you do with my drone?
It's hovering over you right now.
Well, I've got great video of my AR drone, and I had actually gotten really good at the hover and the pan and it's got these really cool features in it where it's got like you can put it station keeping.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll stay in one place and it'll hover and it'll just or it's got movie mode where it auto stabilizes and just focuses on one point. It's really, really cool stuff, and this one, oh my goodness, this one looks like it's going to be a boatload of fun.
Well,
hold on, I'm going to watch the demo drone. Well, I mean, okay, so my biggest complaint for the AR drone, for as much as it was relatively fragile. So I had to do some modding to it and all that other stuff. And my wife's probably mad because I spent like $300 on that thing and only flew it for like a week. You know, this one, I'm betting that screen has got to be your insert tablet here.
It is. It's an iPad. It's an iPad.
Yeah, insert your tablet here, and then it turns it into the right antenna and everything else. So it gives you more control over the device. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm looking at the video. Man, this thing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they refined the center portion of it, so I'm betting it's lighter, but it's probably going to be more stable in the middle there. And I hope that was my biggest complaint, is it was not strong enough.
Well, there it is.
I want to get like a fleet of these things and solar power them and just hover them over my house.
That would
just to see what somebody will do. Be like, there's a droid. We have drones everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Let's stick with is it my turn now?
Yes, it's your turn.
Okay, let's see. Is this one going to be short enough for me not to cry about? You already did their 4G cars, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this one. Oh God, I said all long stories. I didn't think this through at all, did I? I think it's your fault.
Well, you can do one from NBC News.
NBC News? Well, I've got one from CNET.
Okay.
Okay. CNET.com, LG teases new G-Pad tablet in 7s, 8s, and 10-inch size. Okay. Not content with having just one tablet, the G-Pad 8.3 compared to its rival Samsung, Korean manufacturer LG, which is funny because they make the Nexus series, and they make all of the Nexus 8s and everything else. Anyway, LG will be announcing 3 new tablets, the G-Pad 7.0, 8.0, and 10.1, and they will be making their official debut in Monaco on May 13th at the MedPI trade show. The 3 Android tablets will also share some features from LG's smartphone range, including knock code, which is interesting, which lets the user knock the phone. Remember this? We talked about this months ago. Knock the phone by tapping on the phone in a custom pattern way to anywhere on the screen, which lets them unlock it. Remember?
Yeah.
Unlock the phone by tapping on it. Apart from the screen size, LG has not disclosed any other information about the tablet specifications, availability, or pricing. Based on the official press pictures, though, we can guess that the slate is likely to sport a plastic chassis, have a rear camera, and on-screen buttons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's I don't have to. I mean, they're nice sizes, but hey, it's not a gold light.
I mean, I like my Nexus 7, which is weird. It's made by LG, so I wouldn't understand why LG would go the way that they've gone.
Well, speaking of tablets, according to 9 to 5 Mac, iPad sales have gone kind of flat, and they say they're here to stay, according to Morgan Stanley. Anyway.
Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, Morgan Stanley. He lives over down the block to the left. Anyway, Morgan Stanley's suggested that weak iPad sales may be here to stay. That's according to Business Insider. We lower our 2014 tablet growth forecast to 12% from 26% on the back of increasing penetration rates and the lack of new differentiated products. Few suppliers were able to communicate a credible argument for a growth re-acceleration this year. However, Android appears to be faring better than iOS tablets on the back of lower price points and broader product portfolios. Now, they say that the slow growth is expected despite the fact that tablets are expected to continue to cannibalize the PC market as more consumers replace PCs with tablets. Tim Cook would probably disagree. Now, of course, he's the head of the president of Apple. Commenting on the sales slowdown, Cook observed that the iPad was the fastest growing product in Apple's history, selling twice as many units as the iPhone and 7 times as many as the iPods in the same time periods. Okay, because the iPod, was one of their best. Yeah. Okay. Despite
what?
Well, iPod was a huge success. It has been a huge success, and but I guess the tablets is doing better over the year in the same time periods.
Well, I mean, think about this though. I mean, it's a consumption device. I mean, literally, I saw a guy on a plane the other day coming back from California with an old school like rotodial non-touchscreen iPod, and was like, what? Those things have kind of died out, and everybody now has these multiple consumption devices for tablets and things of that nature, and that is kind of where it goes. So.
Well, you know why he was using that, because that iPod is still by far the largest capacity music device that Apple makes. The digital versions don't come near that, and that's why it's still for sale. It's just, they haven't come up with a version that has the capacity of that older iPod.
But you're talking about like the 500 gigabyte one?
Yeah, I don't know which one it was. It was the largest. It had a hard drive, little hard drive in it. It was still a current version because it was still
I know what you're talking about.
Largest capacity iPod to date. So until they come up with, yeah, you can go there and check it out. Despite an overall trend for flat iPad sales, Canalys recently reported that Apple remains the world's leader in combined PC and tablet sales. They're still number one. That's it. What are you checking out? You're checking out the
iPod?
Yeah,
not the biggest iPod in the world. This was in 2009. CNN Money. Fortune small business. Like many consumers, John Mayberry was looking to upgrade his iPod. The IT technician had 50,000 songs stored on his computer, but his 60 gigabyte iPod maxed out. 60 gigabyte iPod maxed out at 12,000 songs, and Apple wasn't helping. Last year, the company discontinued its largest iPod, the 160 gigabyte model, citing concerns about its design. Currently, the largest iPod that Mayberry can buy is 120 gig, or half the size of his music library. That was the cure for Rapid Repair, located in Kalamazoo. In February, the startup began retrofitting old iPods with new 240 gigabyte hard drives. The price of the procedure, $300, was the same as the cost of a new iPod, and having the device hacked broke its warranty. But Mayberry didn't care. He finally had an MP3 player equal to his music library. I'll hold on to this one for a while.
I wonder about this. Now I'm looking. When you shop they call it the iPod Classic. Okay, and it has a hard drive. The largest one they have is 160 gigabytes. They had a bigger one, but it will hold 40,000 songs or 200 hours of video. And I said to my son Ben, I said, because and Aaron, he said, he wanted the big iPod. I said, he says, well, I have thousands of songs. I said, yeah, but why, when was the last time you listened to, all those songs? He says, that don't matter. He says, it doesn't matter. He says, I just want to have them all with me, so whenever I want to listen to them, I know I can. I just want to know that I could do it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't even like everybody asks me, like, I get, what size is your iPhone?
16 gigs. I got the smallest version. I don't need it.
I don't need it. I have the 16 gig iPhone. I've got the 16 gig Nexus. I've got the 16 gig iPad. I didn't buy the huge one because I don't need all of that space. Now, wait a minute. At CES, I kind of wished I had the 32 gig iPad because all the videos I did all the recording and the editing on the iPad.
Right.
Which was amazing, and I had to move stuff off and I had to transfer it to the computer to do this and do all that other stuff, so there was a bit of a hassle there, but I could totally do everything I needed to on my iPad with it hooked up to Dropbox and with it hooked up to all of my cloud services and everything else, Google Drive. I don't need all that space. Now with my music, I use Google Play Music, and Google has well, Apple now has it too. The kind of what's it called? The iTunes Radio.
Yeah.
Where it lets you, every song that's in iTunes will automatically get played or get set up a certain way.
Exactly.
It's basically a Pandora. And I stopped using normal stuff because now I've got the same thing for Google. I just punch in the song that I want, it comes down, and I hit start an instant mix, and I'm good. However many thousands of songs I have up in my Google Cloud, I don't even know anymore. Like, I don't even try and count. I don't even try and look at that number. It's all music that I like listening to, and it's like having my own personal radio station.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the mindset. I just want to have all this stuff with me. It's like well, why do you carry a gun? Well, I'd rather need it. Oh, is it? I'd rather
have
not
it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Not have it. Exactly. Well, there it is. Okay, that's the mindset.
Do you have a gun?
No, not here with me.
Break into Craig's house. Dogs, no gun. Got it.
We got our Logitech winners coming up too. Stay with us.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MyTV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MyTV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV.
Hello there, this is your London Minute. Voice memo, classic. Apples and pears mean stairs. Rabbit and pork, talk. That's a sampling of Cockney rhyming slang, spoken in parts of London. Now that you've got the hang of some old phrases, how about the Urban Dictionary for acquiring some modern dialect? Go to www.urbandictionary.com. The term crud butter, for example, has been introduced into our house. That's when crumbs from toast ends up in the butter or jam. The Urban Dictionary is packed full of gems, but caution, it's rude in places. But that aside, it's expressive. If you want to give praise to man or dog, just say, "You're the man now, dog." There is a problem with the Urban Dictionary. It has a way of colliding with the English accent. But I'm learning so much. To be quiggly is good. To be textjected, that is, to be rejected via a text, well, that's bad. I'm mutton speaking as lamb, and I'm loving it. Would your company like to sponsor the Talking Technology column, my London Minute voice memo? Please get in touch via my website, loveyourcomputer.co.uk. I'll see you over on Twitter. I'm at Computer Tweety. This is Patricia Reichel for Computer America.
I'm sorry about that. I am busy, cyber stalking people. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Craig and I are doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of the Computer America Show. Visit slimwareutilities.com to learn how you can clean, speed up, and optimize your computer for
Free!
Wow. Welcome back. You guys can get in on this conversation by joining us over at computeramerica.com in our live interactive add-on chat room. Right above that, you get to see me in my funny t-shirt and Craig in his webcam firewall, which is a different color tonight.
What is that?
Why is your webcam firewall red instead of its customary yellow?
Because the lights are out.
Ah, okay. Anyway, and our live interactive add-on video is brought to you by Otherworld Computing. Great stuff from great people over at MacSales.com. Go over there, tell them Craig and I sent you. You will not be disappointed. We had an unsolicited testimonial earlier from Scott at TextSecure? Not
Yep.
TextSecure.
TextPower.
TextPower Inc. About how he upgraded his Mac and he's loving it, just like I upgraded my Mac and I'm loving it. And oh, by the way, if I do upgrade to a MacBook Pro here anytime in the near future, this particular Mac Mini for the show will go up for a Computer America contest. So you guys should stay tuned. If you want to get in on this conversation, give us a call, 347-884-8881. I'll get you on to get you through. That number again, 347-884-8881. Oh my goodness, and we have a giant, all capital letters caller.
We have, I think he's calling us from California. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hi, caller. How can we help you?
Hi, Craig. It's Fort.
Fort!
Fort and I have been talking in the chat room.
I'm being cyber stalked. Help! Oh, no, let's stop that. No. No, I wanted to congratulate our certifiable ethical racing hacker. That he got really, really close, and he actually found what I thought he would find.
Fort teaches a computer class. Fort teaches a computer class. Where and when I will not tell you.
And but I have to dissuade him of just one thing. I am not a girl.
No. When I got back onto it, I was like, wait a minute. He let me just drift away into that one. Way to go, sending me on a wild goose chase.
Wiggle the shiny thing in the water and watch him go flying. Oh.
But eventually I come back.
There he goes. Bye. Oh. No, you did really good, Charles. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
That with what I thought was a minimal amount of information, you were able to find a few things.
I will tell you that she didn't.
I didn't even know their phone number.
Well, if you need any other help finding anything else, let me know. It's amazing actually. The minimal amount of information that you did have out there was impressive. Like I do have to say that of all the person locates that I've done in my career, yours took me slightly longer than normal, about 2 episodes, but. You did really good. You did. Your images kept you out of the picture most of the time. Your blog posts, you didn't make anything really specific, but the loose knit things tied it all together. But you did make one small mention of something else that led me somewhere else that brought me to you. So. I was actually I'm glad I confirmed what I confirmed the website I sent you, because I was actually going to have Craig do like a special show where we were going to call up and say hello and see what happened. But I'm glad I confirmed it.
Jonathan.
Yeah, well,
Jonathan in the chat room wants Charles. He's asking Charles did you find any pictures of Fort? I don't know why.
No. Well, wait. Possibly, but without Fort's written consent, I can't release any of that information.
You can't.
Well, technically, there is a picture of my shadow online.
The shadow photo.
Went to a science fair at a local college, and they had a display of how different colors of light interact. So I stood in front of this. They had 3 projectors doing yellow, cyan, magenta.
Yep.
And they had that projecting on a white screen, so I stood in front of the lights and took a picture of the shadow that was So that's probably the only picture of me you'll find online. I mean, short of.
There you go.
Short of hacking into computer. Don't click the link.
Here.
Well, Fort, listen, we're glad that you called.
No, none of those people in the link are me.
Okay, all right. I've got a couple of other possibilities that I will find for you.
All right. Well,
but that was fun. It was really interesting to see what Charles could find and just to see how well some of my long-standing policies have held up.
You did good. You did good. You were better than most people.
In one form or another since the days of Prodigy.
Wow.
1990-ish.
With a scepter too.
So.
Well, remember, I also found pictures of Craig in the white belt and the micro fro singing in the whatchamacallit in his places. So that was
Prodigy had the scepter terminal. Yeah, exactly. You remember that?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember seeing that on an episode of Home Time, and they were talking about, ooh, look at this.
Yeah.
You can get the internet. It was all slow and blocky.
Yeah. Hey, it was the best we had to offer in those days.
Oh yeah. Well, there's times when I kind of miss that because it was you only needed to know one password.
Well, yeah.
Are those the days that I miss too, with only one password?
Now I have a book, my online organizer, to keep all my passwords. So.
Oh, Craig's got one of those too. He just continues to use the same password to get into the book that contains all of his very similar passwords.
The small, my gold iPhone 5S notebook.
They do have an app for that. You know that, right?
I do know. Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, the gold iPhone 5S, not just the regular common one.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey.
Oh, we love you, Craig.
Well, thanks for it. We love you too.
Hey, thank you too. That was fun. And I still have some stuff popping up on my screen from Charles, and so we'll go take care of that and let you guys get back to doing a show.
All right, Fort. Thanks, Fort. Bye-bye, Fort. All right. And there he goes, back in the chat room, where he belongs. Okay.
Back in the chat room. Don't make me get the hose.
I see him. Fort's in there. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's start announcing some of the winners. We have 3, and let's do our third place winner right now. Okay, Charles?
Okay, let's do
All
it.
right. This is for the third place prize. This is for the Logitech high definition webcam C310 valued at $49.99, $50, and that camera goes to Amber Johnson. Amber Johnson, congratulations. Amber listens to us in Dryden, Virginia. Dryden, Virginia. Where is Dryden, Virginia?
It's in Virginia.
No, fool. My wife knows where most things are in Virginia. I have to ask her. Dryden, Virginia. Anyway, Amber Johnson, congratulations. You're a third place winner and of that Logitech high definition webcam C310. All right. Okay, so we still have 2 more winners coming up here on the show. Whose turn is it to do a news story now? Is it mine? It's mine. Yes.
Okay.
This from CNN Money. Morgan Stanley, unsold phones pile up in China ahead of 4G rollout and the launch of Apple's iPhone 6. Wow. Demand is down and shipments up in the world's biggest smartphone market. Again, now, according to Fortune here, Kate Hubertley is back from a trip abroad with fresh intelligence from the world's most important smartphone market, China. In a series of 3 takeaway notes to clients, she reports inventory pileup. The Chinese government is saying demand for new smartphones fell 9% year over year last quarter, even as IDC reports shipments of phones into the region rising 37%. She says the Chinese carriers are spending less on marketing and subsidies as they wait for the government to issue 4G licenses. There's also the iPhone 6 buildup. Most of the Apple subcontractors she spoke to expect demand for the new iPhone 6 by December will be 20% better than demand was for last year's big Christmas the iPhone 5S. She was only expecting a 12% growth. Okay, and then there's the big screen boost. Meanwhile, an April survey from Morgan Stanley by AlphaY suggests that a larger screen iPhone, as the iPhone 6 is rumored to be, could buy Apple 11 points of market share in the U.S. Buyers beware, this Morgan Stanley prediction from last summer didn't quite pan out. But there it is, okay?
Hey, wait a minute. I'm on Facebook.
You are?
Yeah, watch. Look in the chat room.
What are you doing on Facebook?
There. Okay. Click the link.
Yeah, okay.
I'm on Facebook.
You are? Why did you go on Facebook?
I went on Facebook because somebody else tagged me in a post on Facebook.
Timeline photos. Oh, yeah, they posted. Okay.
I did an interview. We tracked this scam guy down to a couple of places in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It's on tonight at 10. It's apparently a big deal. This is pretty cool.
Look at that. Is that you? What you have? You had a different T-shirt in that picture.
Yeah. Well, I've resolved to wearing my T-shirts and everything to include my interviews. So it's going to become the Charles Tindall trademark.
Okay. All right. All right. So now, did you do the story here? No, I did that one. So it's your turn to do a story.
Okay. I had one open. From NBCNews.com, woman accused of wiretapping for allegedly recording own arrest. A Massachusetts woman, right? This is this is one I have to read.
Mm.
A Massachusetts woman is facing an unlawful wiretapping charge after she allegedly recorded her own arrest via cell phone. The Springfield Republican reported Monday that police originally arrested Karen Deswit, 24, on Sunday for disorderly conduct and an open container violation. Before she was arrested, however, police told the newspaper that Deswit activated the voice recorder on her cell phone, hid it in her purse, and secretly taped the audio of the encounter. Police discovered the phone still recording when they went through her belongings. While she was being booked at the station, the Republican reported. Massachusetts is a two-party consent state, which means the law states all parties must be aware that the conversation is being recorded. After finding the cell phone recording, officials added a charge of unlawful wiretapping to Zizwit's case. She denied all three charges at her arraignment on Monday, and she was released on her own recognizance, the Republican reported. The pre-trial hearing was set for July 8th. When contacted by NBC News on Monday, staffers at the Springfield Police Department said the people authorized to comment to the press were unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
Massachusetts is the home of a landmark 2011 case involving the right to record. The First Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals ruled Glick versus Cuffing that to arrest someone for recording police activity in public is a violation of the First and Fourth Amendment rights.
Wow,
What do you think's about to happen?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, she's in the right, I think.
Well, she's in the right, but do you think the recording is going to be released?
Well, who has?
I think what I'm saying, what happens a lot of these times now, unless she had some sort of high-speed backup set up on there, they got control over her phone. I'm gonna bet, and I've seen it happen on more than one occasion, that this recording magically becomes corrupted or the phone somehow doesn't work. So if she's out there and she's looking for someone to help or someone to actually get this kind of information off of there, what was her name again? Karen Deswit.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're listening, Karen, or anybody out there in the world that can hear my voice, send Karen my way if you seem to magically have problems with recovering data off of that mobile phone. We have ways of getting it back.
We have ways of getting.
We have ways.
All right. Hey, let's announce our second place winner from our Logitech contest. This is for the Logitech G400S gaming mouse valued at $60. Okay. And that winner is Samantha Mostek. Samantha Mostek, congratulations! You're our second place winner. Samantha listens to us in Waterloo, Iowa. Did you know there was a Waterloo in Iowa?
No.
Well, it was Waterloo in France, but I didn't know there was one. Why is there so many, places that, that have famous names, and we have other cities, we have comparable places of the same name in the U.S. Like Waterloo is in France, right? And then we have one in Iowa. There, I can think of numerous examples like that. Anyway, Samantha, you are our second place winner, and so congratulations to you. And we will be announcing our grand prize winner for the Logitech UE600 noise isolating earphones, about $120. We'll announce that winner momentarily. But in the meantime, let's do another story. And this from Business Insider. Office for iPad has been downloaded 27 million times.
How many?
27 million times.
One more time. How many times?
Doubled in a month, Microsoft says. Microsoft says Office for iPad, released about 6 weeks ago, is a runaway success. The app has been downloaded about 27 million times.
Million?
Yes. Microsoft's Julia White told the crowd during Monday's keynote at its TechEd customer conference in Houston. White is general manager of Microsoft's Office division. Okay, that's more than double the number of downloads Microsoft reported just over a month ago, on April the 3rd, a week after the launch. Microsoft tweeted then that Office for iPad had been downloaded more than 12 million times. Office for iPad is a free app, but only for people who have paid subscriptions to Microsoft's cloud version of Office, Office 365. It costs consumers about $100 a year. Fair enough. In April, Microsoft said it had 4.4 million paid users of the personal version of Office for iPad. That means most of those 27 million downloads are from business users with corporate Office 365 accounts. That's a good news / bad news thing for Microsoft. It means its cash cow business, Office, remains popular with companies even as they buy an increasing number of iPads instead of Windows tablets. Because remember, Office is the real cash. It's not Windows for Microsoft. It's Office. That's their real cash cow. And it's good news. I mean, they're selling all these additional copies that they would never have sold. I mean, it's additional income for Microsoft. I don't see why it's bad news.
It's not, actually.
No.
I mean, I know. Well, it's not bad news for Microsoft. I think it's bad news for Apple because remember they built a competing project of Pages. So it now comes down to do I use Pages or do I not care? It's really kind of scary actually. And and I'm surprised Apple let them do it. I mean, I really am. I mean, it's literally going to come down to they've got more power now. So.
Well. Here's an interesting story. Could Silicon Valley's no hire scandal have its day in court? In the mid-2000s, the leaders of Apple, Google, Adobe, Intel, Pixar, Intuit, and Lucasfilm tried to get away with paying employees less than they might have deserved. According to court documents, CEOs including Steve Jobs and Eric Schmidt tried to hide an illegal gentleman's agreement, quote unquote, to keep salaries low by not poaching one another's workers. I would not like this broadly known, wrote Intel CEO Paul Ottinelli at the time. I don't want to create a paper trail over which we might get sued later, wrote Schmidt. But instead of being hauled off to court, the companies hammered out a class action settlement for pennies on the dollar. Now one of the lead plaintiffs wants to change that. In a rare occurrence, one of the named plaintiffs in a class action lawsuit is opposing the deal. Wow. A former Adobe software developer is asking a judge to reject the settlement. He claims his own lawyers went behind his back to secure a grossly inadequate sum of money for affected employees, one that won't make companies blink at flaunting the law in the future. He says he wants his day in court. In a letter to the judge, he wrote that the $324 million settlement would amount to just 1/10 of the $3 billion that some 64,000 tech workers are estimated to have lost over the course of the gentlemen's agreements. If a shoplifter is caught on video stealing a $400 iPad from the Apple Store, Would a fair and just resolution be for the shopper to pay Apple $40, keep the iPad, and walk away with no record or admission of wrongdoing? Asked the former Adobe employee. Well, though he stands to make more than most from the current settlement, $20,000 for being a named plaintiff, he told the New York Times that ethics were at stake. The tech industry is ethically challenged. Customers and the government don't fully understand technology and therefore don't know when the law is being broken. I'm attracted to the industry for the opportunities for innovation, but repulsed by the ease with which folks can cheat and get away with it. He's just one of 64,000 plaintiffs, though. Others would need to join his cause. He's erected a website, Tech Worker Justice, and is currently looking for new lawyers to take up the issue. The tech companies also settled with the Department of Justice back in 2010 in an agreement which prohibited them from continuing the anti-competitive no-hire practice for the last 5 years. What do you think? Well.
I don't know.
Well, again, I mean, this just because these were technology companies. I mean, I'm sure practices like this have happened, before with other companies too. Well, we'll see if anything's going to happen of it. We'll keep on top of it. Well,
we can try.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to try.
Last story.
Let's see. Which story do I want to try then?
It's the one from The Verge.
What'd you call me?
The one from The Verge.
Verge. Let's do that one. Okay.
Right.
It's loading. Sony reportedly ditching pricey OLED TVs for cheaper 4K LCD sets.
Yep.
What in the wide world of sports, Batman? More pixels and lower prices trump the blackest blacks for Sony, which is reportedly suspending its efforts to make OLED television sets. Instead, reports Japan's Nike, the company is shifting its focus to 4K sets that use more traditional liquid crystal displays. I like the LEDs better. Those sets are markedly less expensive to produce, sell at lower prices, and already make up nearly half of the sets Sony plans to offer over the course of the next year. Nike adds that the simpler reason for all of this is that 4K sets are already selling well, while the more expensive OLED sets are not. Sony has been outgunned by rivals like LG Electronics and Samsung, which have simply moved faster, more aggressively with their OLED efforts. A report from the Wall Street Journal last December, in fact, noted that Sony and Panasonic had canceled a partnership on OLED production and were instead focusing on LCD display-based systems, which were simpler to produce. The primary value of OLED technology in TV sets and other displays is color reproduction, though the technology has taken years to produce in large sizes and at low costs. Even as the latter part of that equation has caught up, OLED sets are still pricey and can cost 3 to 4 times as much as other technologies like plasma. One of the biggest trends among TV makers at this year's annual Consumer Electronics Show, where most of the new sets were shown off, took the big screen feature another step by curving the display gimmick. Something companies say improved ambient light reflections and can improve viewing angles. Gimmick. The change in strategy is not without cost for Sony. The company plans to trim the workforce on its consumer electronics division by 20%, Nikki says. It also plans to reassign members of its OLED group to other parts of the company.
All right. Well, I still like 4K TVs. I don't.
Are you going to buy a 4K TV?
Yeah, probably eventually. Hey, let's quickly do our first place winner, okay?
Okay.
Our grand prize winner, this is for the Logitech UE600 noise isolating earphones, about $120, is Michael Miller.
Wait, what?
Michael Miller. No, it's not the Michael Miller that we have. This is the Michael Miller in Huntington Beach, California.
Oh, okay. You can't do that.
No, not our Mike Miller. No, exactly.
90
So
seconds.
again, congratulations to Amber Johnson in Dryden, VA, our third place winner. Samantha Mostek in Waterloo, Iowa, for our second place winner, and our grand prize winner for the Logitech UE 600 noise and the earphones, about $120. Michael Miller listened to us in Huntington Beach, California. Congratulations to all of you, and thanks for playing. And we got, again, the contest is up and running. Again, get your entries in. They start today. All right, coming up tomorrow night, it's
60 seconds.
Gamer Tuesday, and we're going to have Grayson Hamilton with us, okay? But, you know, it's going to be a little twist because not only Grayson's going to be with us talking about all the latest things in games, sharing the first hour with Grayson, myself, and Charles is Origin PC. They make, you know, computers that are incredibly fast. Ben's computer is an Origin PC, and it's the official computer of Computer America, okay? So we're going to talk about games and computers and what's happening with Grayson Hamilton and Origin PC. It's going to be a fun show tomorrow night. If you're into gaming, that's where you want to be. All right? So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy.
I don't ever know whether it's you want me to say something there.
We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, and we are out for that, and we're still got our live video streaming going from Otherworld Computing. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone in the chat room. See you tomorrow with our Gamer Tuesday. Okay, and we'll log out there. That's done. All right. All right, Charles. Well, listen. Sounds like you're back and everything's good. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Everybody, thanks for watching the live video streaming, and we'll catch you tomorrow night. If you're into gaming, tomorrow's where you want to be. Yep.
Night, guys.
Night, guys.